CINEMANIACS, 127 hours movie review. Alright. Hello. Well, I'm here today. I'm going to be reviewing Danny Boyle's new film, 127 Hours, starring James Franco, based on the book Between a Rock and a Hard Place, written by Aron Ralston. This film is based on a true story, so I'm not going to give any spoilers out. Therefore, they wouldn't count because this was based on a true story. So you can't really spoil real life. So whether you know it or not, this actually happened. Plot follows Aron Ralston, played by James Franco, who is a mountaineer who is mountain climbing, and one day he falls. One day he's climbing a mountain, he falls and he's trapped. His arm is trapped under a boulder and he's stuck there for 5 days. Over these 5 days, he's been filming video diaries and sort of recalling past events and having all these weird hallucinations. It goes up until the point where he has to use his dull knife that he carries around and basically cut off his own arm to get out. This isn't a spoiler because this really happened, so please don't give me any crap in the comment section below. And anyway, I have to say, this is actually a really, really good movie, a 4.5 out of 5. There are a couple of things with editing that I don't like. Is in the opening titles there is like a scene of a crowd, 3 different crowds, and I don't really think this has anything to do with Aron Ralston's story or the fact that it's about mountain climbing. So I thought that was pretty pointless. And the title 127 hours doesn't come up until like 20 minutes into the movie, when he's just in the boulder, stuck. I thought it'd be like in the trailer that I saw where, you know, there's a shot of him like screaming for help and it comes up to the canyon and it would say 127 hours, just like in the trailer. I thought that, but no, he had to get stuck and the title had to come up that way. The music in this is great. There are a couple of good songs, like there's the song Lovely Day, which is used when Aron is trying to chip away at the rock. And there's also sort of a really good tune. I think it's instrumental, but which is playing when Aron, 3 or 4 minutes after Aron comes out of the cave, and he's basically looking around for help, and he spots a family who sort of help him get out. So I mean, I thought that was a sense of relief. And so the way I saw this film, you know, I just came back from seeing it, and I remember I actually ran into Tesco's, you know, just to get, like, while the green light was still on, I went to the one in Passwood, and while that was playing, while I was there, I actually ran, so I was kind of exhausted. And plus, when you know, when the trailers were playing, like, there was actually TV adverts and there was a trailer for the BAFTAs. I actually kind of feel like I needed to go to the toilet, so I went and only a little came out. But throughout the movie I kind of not desperately needed to go to the toilet, but had a little pain that became bigger and bigger, but kind of numbed down when Aron was cutting his arm off. And you know, in the end, the ending of this was really just uplifting. You know, there's actually a scene with a cameo with the real Aron Ralston. You know, sitting on a couch with his wife as these like titles came up saying, you know, Aron married his wife 3 years later, they had a son in 2010, you know, that sort of stuff. Danny Boyle does some good direction, and there are loads of pretty cool camera shots. And Danny Boyle's, the only films that I've seen of Danny Boyle, directed by Danny Boyle, are Slumdog Millionaire and Millions. I haven't seen The Beach, Trainspotting, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, 28 Weeks Later, which he served as a producer. So I didn't really see any of those movies. And I was meaning to watch them before I saw this. And I'm basically trying to sort of, this is like an award season, so I'm basically trying to like watch anything that's nominated for an Oscar, a BAFTA, or anything that was nominated or won a Golden Globe. So I basically, you know, I'm sort of in an Oscar mood, so I hope this wins an Oscar or a BAFTA. I hope Danny Boyle wins an Oscar for Best Director, or will The Social Network be into it? Okay, it's a good film, brilliant film, but I'm starting to really get sick of people like talking about, oh, you gotta see The Social Network. Okay, don't get me wrong, I loved the film. I loved hearing about the origins of Facebook, and Social Network was very quotable, you know, especially that Sopranos gag, where they're like, I want to hire the Sopranos to beat the crap out of him. That was actually good. And, you know, he's kind of James Franco is kind of cocky in this film. He's kind of cocky, and he just doesn't really care about anyone. Like in the opening sequence, where he's like getting things together to sort of go mountain climbing, he's going like late at night, and there is, you know, phones going off and answering machines going off, like his sister's calling, going, you know, Mum's worried about you, just ring up. And this is just, and then when he's trapped, he basically has to carry the movie, and you kind of feel that relief when basically he gets 15 minutes of sunlight every day when he's trapped, because when you're in the desert, you know, temperatures plummet. And there's also the one thing that sort of holds the film together. It's of course the amputation scene, where the pivotal moment where Aron Ralston has to basically get his dull, rusty knife, his rusty, cheap, made in China knife, and cuts his arm off. And before I saw this film, like back in October, I saw it today, but back in October there was like reports going on regarding the Sundance Film Festival, and that when people were watching this film, when they saw the amputation scene, the scene was so bad that people in the audience started throwing up and paramedics had to be called. Well, I didn't really feel that way. I mean, when I had to go to the toilet and it sort of numbed down during the end, I mean, I was kind of suffering. I was like feeling, you know, his pain. And when the scene where he's like, blood dominates the amputation scene, and there's also scenes where There's also the scene in the amputation scene where he hits a nerve and the camera just goes all fuzzy and shaky, just try to like screw us about and sort of shake us up. And there's also these weird hallucinations that are done, these dreams and hallucinations. These are all well done, where basically there's like a hallucination where he sees an inflatable Scooby-Doo in the cave that scares him. It kind of scared the hell out of me, and he sort of took a picture of it, and then when he saw the picture it was just nothing. So, and those scenes where Aron is expressing his thirst with, like, you know, through silence and suffering, and he's kind of hallucinating about the a montage of just Coca-Cola adverts and Sunkiss, etc. And these messages that he's recording to his parents and his sister were all very well acted out. I heard that, like, the real Aron Ralston sort of footage of him trapped under the rock, like, was kept in a safe, and James Franco and Danny Boyle got it out so they can watch it and just sort of get real with the cat character. And there's also some just scenes that will really freak you out, like there's an ant crawling on his face, and also he runs out of water, so he has to keep, like, drinking his own urine. That was a bit, you know, it's just, I bet from his face that he's disgusted, but he's like force feeding himself. And anyway, the blood scene, blood dominates the scene, the amputation scene, and there's actually blood round his beard, and there's actually a scene of him, like, licking the blood off his lips. So, and these two hikers, you know, I kind of expect, there's the scene with the two hikers at the beginning, I can't remember who played them, but, you know, if he actually stayed with them and they actually heard his cries for help, then he would have both his arms. And and also, you know, I watched a couple of trailers and a couple of reviews, and I really expected him, after meeting these girls and them both parting ways, I was expecting, like, in the first 50 seconds of screen time, for him to sort of get trapped. And, well, I'd say this is a good film. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. It is tremendous. James Franco acting is good. I think he done well in the Spider-Man trilogy, but, like, this is one of his best out of all the roles. Pineapple Express, the Spider-Man trilogy, this is just massive. And go see it, and I hope it wins a BAFTA or an Oscar. Anyway, CINEMANIACS signing out. See you later. Bye.